Legal Shield family. This is John and Darcy Hoffman out of the beautiful state of Tennessee in Knoxville. And what a privilege it is to be able to spend this time coming to you via Zoom. Unfortunately, it's Zoom. And while we send our best wishes and prayers to everybody in this great country and amongst the Legal Shield family, we wish we were all together in person, but I know it won't be long, and we will be through this season soon. And this morning, we get a chance to talk about the 10 core commitments. And what a great foundation to build our business on, and what a great foundation and what a great blueprint to be successful in this fantastic company. So number one.
Start each day the right way. So John, how do you start your day?
Well, I start my day, and you see me every morning. We're sitting out here on our deck. I love to start my day, with praise and worship. I love to just listen to music that just allows me to praise the one who made me. And really what it does is it helps me to kick off my day because I've got a thankful spirit. I've got an attitude of gratitude and just extremely thankful for many things, for my marriage, for my family, for my children, for the country I live in, for, the government that we have, for my colleagues, for most importantly, my family and Legal Shield, the opportunity that has been afforded every single one of us to think 21 years that we've been able to be in this great company is really a story in and of itself. And so a good friend of Darcy and ours and some of yours, the late Paul J. Meyer, said, attitude is everything. And I think when you kick your day off with the right attitude, great things are going to follow.
And I didn't study, in helping we coach and develop people. So we've worked with tens of thousands of people. And we found out from a book called Triple Threat, and studied every people group on the earth, they found out that there's 3 factors that help someone succeed. And one of them is, the first one is believing that you are worth it, believing that you are created to be successful. So when you start your day, one of the key factors for us is knowing who you are, knowing why you are, and knowing the value you offer the world. So if you don't know who you are, you're not going to feel belief drives actions. So if your belief in yourself isn't there, you need to fix that, because you can put all those goals together and you can say all those affirmations, but if whatsoever a man believes in his heart, what you think in your heart, so are you. So whatever you think about yourself, whatever you believe you are worthy of receiving out there in the world, is going to manifest itself. So basically, it start your day the right way by knowing your value, what you add to the marketplace, why you're good, why people should see you, why people should listen to you, why people should be on your team. So you have to get that straight in your head, in your heart. So I would say start your day the right way. And I want to share a story of Pele, one of the best soccer players ever. So how he started his game. So very similar kind of strategy give to you. So Pele would come into the locker room right before a big game, professional soccer player all over the world, and he would grab 2 towels. He would take one towel and lay it on the ground, and another towel, and then he'd lay back on the ground on that towel, and the other one would go across his eyes. And for 30 minutes, he would meditate. The first 10 minutes, he would meditate on the fun he had playing soccer, why he loved it. So I want to say to you, why do you love this business? What is your why? What is the fun part? What is the why you got into the business part? Think about those reasons. Second part that he would, in second 10 minutes, was what was all the good things he ever did in soccer. So he would think about every play that he scored, and he had that kick, and he won that championship, and he went to everything right, everything good, everything praiseworthy, everything excellent that he did. He thought on those things. And so that got him all pumped up. And the third part was he saw himself going out for that day to that game, completing and succeeding against his opponent. And in our case, see yourself going out to talk to that group, talk to that small business person, talk to that recruit, talk to that person about the membership. See yourself winning. And so he saw himself and envisioned himself going out there for the game. And that's a tip I want to give you to apply to how to start your day.
And you made me think of something, so I got to share it. Don't think of those who said no, N-O. Think of all those that want to, K-N-O-W. And that's something that you've discussed numerous times. So I just stole it from her, but she made me think of it. It's mine. So number two, let's talk about staying connected. And this is critical. You want to be in that communication loop. You want to be in that loop with your team. You want to be in that loop with your upline leadership. You want to be in that loop with what the team is posting on its website, with the different maybe Sunday leadership calls you might have, Monday leadership calls you might have. All of the leaders in this organization, in my eyes, after 30 years, are some of the finest leaders, servant leaders that I've ever had a chance to associate with in industry, period, end of story. Their hearts are right. They want more success for their teams than they do themselves. And so get in that loop, stay plugged in. At the same time, in the technology world that we live today, Darcy, as you know, we've got access to more information than ever before. And I have people call me and I'm like, it's in your back office. Just go to LS Engage. Our corporate office has done a great job making sure that we have the information we need, the resources, the tools, to go to the marketplace in an extremely professional manner. Protect the brand, understand the brand. At the same time, you are the biggest part of that brand. So just stay connected and understand with that, you've got a chance to expand your business from your local market, outside that to your regional market, outside that to a global market, because of the opportunity afforded us.
And I'm going to support that with the principal. Behind us, you see beautiful views go all the way to the lake, but you can't really see the mountains back there. Maybe you can. But all these trees back here are beautiful. But if I took a branch and I broke it away from the tree, its source, where it gets its nutrients and its energy and its food, and I broke that branch away, at first, the branch looks like it's still flowering, the leaves are still green, but maybe a week later, the leaves start to shrivel. A month later, there's no leaves. 2 months later, it's starting to disintegrate. So that is the key about staying together. It's literally a principle. I take a fish out of water, it's flopping around. So if you're not connected, you're flopping around and you're dysfunctional. So we want to stay connected for the principle. You have to stay connected to your source of what feeds you. Number 3.
All right.
Anything else on that one?
No, that's good. Good. 2 exposures a day. Now, I might jump around here a little bit because I know that 30 years ago when you and I started the business, we were fortunate. We had one of the greatest mentors maybe in this industry, and this gentleman and his partner we were so thankful for, because they helped us to build our business right out of the gate on the right foundation, building on the rock, per se. And he taught us a day at a time, a brick at a time, a day at a time, a brick at a time. You have to slow down sometimes to go fast. And a lot of people out there think fast is good, and they build on the sand, the winds come, and it's over. So he taught us back in the early days that you talk to a lot of people, you make a lot of money. You talk to a few people, you make a few dollars. And to take this step further, I also learned from a large builder in this industry, a concept called Sinaloa. There's safety in numbers, and it's a law of averages. So although you see 2 exposures a day, don't let your minimum become your maximum. I think even if you're on the hardest of part times, you can well exceed 2 exposures a day. But look at the opportunities you have. Warm market, cold market, on the street cold market, the 3-foot rule. There's opportunities to make sure that you set your goals, to make sure that you understand there's safety in numbers, and it's a law of averages. What you lack in skill, you make up in numbers. But follow me a second. What you make up in numbers, you gain in skill. So if it takes 10 exposures to make 1 sale, can you beat the guy who only needs 5 exposures to make 1 sale? Absolutely. You just got to have a few more exposures. But guess what? 30 days in, 45 days in, you're only needing 5 exposures to make that 1 sale. You're only needing 5 exposures to make the sale and get that recruit. You're only needing 5 exposures to have a bundled combo plan put in place and then potentially get a recruit from that. So exposure is key.
And the 4S study is one thing that helped me keep doing exposures. Some will, some won't. So what? Because some are weighty. So when I was going through exposures, it's kind of like the farmer that goes and throws seeds out into the ground. And if I just throw 5 seeds into the ground and I'm expecting a harvest, that's not going to be good, because the birds are going to get some, the wind's going to get some, the sun's going to dry up some, the rain's going to soak away some. You aren't going to talk to everybody that's interested. It's just not that way. Not every seed is going to catch the roots. into the ground and provide a harvest for you. So it's a seed time and harvest principle. So you have to be putting out the seeds on a daily basis. And for those that are launching their business, I'm just going to tell you my personal thing was 10 a day. On 10 a day on the product, 10 a day on the opportunity. Because I was launching, I didn't have anybody else to talk to my first 30 days, so why could I not do 10 and 10? So they taught us to put 10 pennies in your left pocket and then move it over to your right pocket to make sure you did the 10. And if it's 11 o'clock at night and I've got 9 pennies moved over and I have 1 penny left to hit my 10, or your 2 or your 5, don't make 2 your limit. You know, if you want to go out and go crazy, all out massive action, go. You know, for me it was 10, and on both product and opportunity. And I knew I had to blast open. Anybody opening a grand opening of a store, a restaurant, a movie, they are like blasting it out all over. Think of previews for new movies. It isn't like dribble. It's like grand opening, you know, and so that was what worked for me. And so I would go out knowing I was looking for those that were interested. You know, not everybody's going to say, yeah, I'm so glad you called me, but it doesn't matter. Who do you know? And so those exposures were always like, I understood this was what needed to get me where I wanted to go. I had to be doing this. And so be on the exposures, make sure you're using the ones that work for you. Make sure you're asking yourself, are my words impactful? Are my words telling the story short and sweet and with a lot of impact? Does my words speak to my audience? So sometimes there's like, I've worked with people in all the divisions of Legal Shield, and some people are like, I'm going to what is that called? A business B&I or something like that.
Networking group.
A networking group, thank you. And I'm like, what should I say? And I'm like, well, why are you asking what you should say? The better question is, who is my audience and how can I speak to their needs? So you hear everything. So always think not talking at people, but asking questions or discovering what their needs are and solving those problems. You get paid for the amount of problems you solve. So you need to discover their problems, and then you need to present to those problems the solution in your presentation. So there's some tips about your exposures, and use those third-party tools because they do it really, you know, a lot better than sometimes we can. So
and before we leave, maybe you can just speak to for a second, you know, don't think linear. You know, so many people are doing this 1v1. And whether you're interested or not, it doesn't matter. I want to know and have access to the people you know. So don't just think linear when you're talking to somebody. You know, consider the hundreds of people that they know, because that person might not be interested. It's okay. No big deal. But who do you know? Who do you know that's dissatisfied? Who do you know that has got more month at the end of the money? Who do you know in today's sobering environment that's been laid off that is ready to make an extra $1,000 a month because our product is more valuable than it's ever been. Our service is more valuable than it's ever been from all aspects, and our opportunity is as strong, if not stronger, than it's ever been. So anything you want to add to that?
Just that we're not in the convincing business. You know, you don't go out and try to convince somebody against their will of the same opinion still. So we want to present until someone wants what we have. You're looking for the people that are looking for you. So you just got to keep looking. All right?
All right.
Number 4 is attend weekly business briefings with a guest. With a guest.
That's the purpose of this business, or guests. And I tell you what, I love fellowship. I love camaraderie. I love community. And that's really the beauty of that weekly business briefing. I know the most important part of the briefing really, it wasn't even the briefing in itself. It wasn't the presenter that was doing the briefing and presenting the information. It was the before and after. It was the opportunity for me to take my guest and introduce them to the director, to the senior director, to the manager, maybe even the associate who just benefited from a tremendous membership testimonial from the provider law firm, to introduce them to the leadership. Let them hear some, you know, product testimonials. Let them hear some income testimonials, because she may not always relate to everything I'm sharing, but I guess what? She's going to relate to 1 or 2 or 3 other people at the BizOp meeting. And I also just want to share this. I know you probably do too, but I never waited for, let's just say, the Tuesday BizOp meeting. So if it's the week before, it's Wednesday, it's Thursday, it's Friday, I'm not having an exposure, making a contact, presenting the information on Legal Shield, and then inviting out to the next Tuesday. I've got a sense of urgency. I want to create some form of a fear of loss with the potential prospect here. And I want to see if I can't, I will get 3, 4, 5 exposures on who we are as a company, the opportunity, and what our membership is about. I want those 4 or 5 exposures in front of her in the next 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours, because guess what? I want to get Darcy on board before the next Tuesday briefing. And so that when we go to that briefing, she's taking 2 guests with her. I see too many people building into the briefing next week 4 or 5 days early, when they could really close that business well before and have that person bringing guests. So look at the Zoom, look at the technology. We're not doing briefings these days. You don't have to worry about it. It shouldn't slow your business down. We've got Zoom, we've got technology, we've got 3-way calls. There's so many ways to have a massive exposure in and outside of the briefing schedule, which we don't have today because we're all quarantined.
All right. Did you understand that?
You think?
So if on a Wednesday he calls me and he doesn't wait for next Tuesday.
You guys better understand me.
He can do a Zoom. He can do a 3-way. He can do something. Let's say I sign up by Wednesday night. So now I am, instead of waiting till the next Tuesday, I am now making a list and going through my game plan interview and getting started. So maybe by Thursday, he's doing a Zoom to me, who just got started Wednesday night, and 3 new people who I talked to on Thursday. And so now they're on a Zoom because that's a briefing through technology. All right. So understand a briefing is, yes, the local place, but it's also everything you do all week. And you can do 3 people at a Starbucks. Well, maybe not now. So, but by Thursday, my 3 people, 2 of them are interested. They're calling people. So by Friday, we do another Zoom, and now maybe there's 7 people. By next Tuesday, I could have 10 new people coming into that briefing. So that's
even better yet.
That's building momentum. And the other thing about the briefing, let me just show you one of the things I'm not seeing in the marketplace that you all need to be doing. Understand the briefing is for the guests. They don't care about all this Legal Shield stuff. They don't even know about all that. They want to know what's in it for them. They want to know, can they make money? They want to know, can they add, income easily to their lifestyle so that they can have an additional income stream. So what they want to know, you don't know. Let's say this person is an insurance background and this is my guest. Okay, my job, but I don't really know his hot buttons because I'm just getting to know him, right? So I say, John.
You know my hot buttons.
Well, maybe.
Oh, wait, sorry.
His hot buttons. But anyways.
Oops.
We're going to get back on track now. So I take John to the briefing. He's my guest, not my husband in this example. And I introduce them to all the key leaders of that particular community. So I'm going to say to somebody, hey, Teresa Wright Johnson, this is my guest, John. Can you tell John a little bit? He's looking at the business. Tell us a little bit about your background, why you started Legal Shield, and the success you had. Share your background. That way the backgrounds could connect. Why you got started, the hot buttons of why she got started, that may connect. And the success you've had with this business. 3 questions. And then she shares that, and I'm like, thanks, Teresa. And then I go over to someone, Don Wilson. I have a new guest here. His name's John Hoffman. This is Don Wilson. Don, can you share a little bit about your background, the reason you got started with Legal Shield, and the success you've had? Boom, 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 boom. He shares next person. I take my guest to the next person. This is because I want my guests to see all the hot buttons. I want my guests to realize all the backgrounds and experience. What it's doing to him is he's like, oh, I know an insurance agent. Oh, I know somebody that owns a restaurant or a construction company that wanted to add income. Oh, I know somebody like this, and I know somebody like this. Their list of possibilities is increasing. So that's what you do at a weekly briefing. You attend it. And then one other thing is when I attended the weekly briefing, not everyone that goes to a briefing is making $10,000 a month, but everybody making $10,000 a month or more is going to the briefings. Okay, and what they do for me also on the weeks I don't have a guest is they revalidate the strength of our company and our opportunity and our product. It revalidates it. It's why McDonald's keeps throwing out commercials, or Budweiser, or Doritos. They're always telling you why you should keep buying their product. Well, that's what a briefing is. Briefing is like a commercial for your soul that helps you connect and validate why you're doing this business and be in your community. And so that's another tip.
And just to the leaders, all the great leaders in Legal Shield who are hosting and who are committing and who are on the line for these briefings and events across the country, here's just a 50-year-old network principle that I think is very important to remember. Our guests are really asking three questions, and Darcy kind of hit on part of it. The three questions we have to answer in anything that we do, whether it's a sit down at a Panera Bread, whether it's at a BizOp meeting, or whether it's even some of the training we do on the big stage at our conferences. There's three questions that have to be answered by us to that guest sitting there. Is it simple? Does it work? And can I do it? All right. I've seen some tremendously talented executives do a 2-hour executive luncheon and everybody walk out. They were impressive and they had all the big words and, they were pretty cool. But guess what? It wasn't simple, and it wasn't easy and they walked out. Versus 15, 20 minutes, they go, I can do that. So, okay, I think you got the point. And
Number 5.
Lastly, number 5.
Invest in yourself and your team. This is our biggie for us. We believe in our number one priority in our organization is to coach and develop leaders. We believe that our job is to not only grow ourselves first, because you can't give what you don't have. So understand, if I have a cup of coffee and you want lemonade, I can't give you what's in this cup is what I can give you. So if I'm full of negative, if I'm full of bad things, if I don't have good perspective, if I'm not thankful, if I don't understand why we're doing this, I don't understand how it's helping people, I'm going to spew out the wrong things. So first I got to fix my mind, my heart, my perspective, my attitude. It starts with us. So that's grow yourself. And some of the ways that we shared how we started our day so that we get ourselves on the thankful road and the gratitude road and the idea of who we are and our personal value according to our creator. So we set that pattern right from the start, because that, if you're trying to go out and present something and you don't even believe in you, that's going to be a problem. So it all starts with you. The biggest room for self-improvement is you, your room, you. And so it starts with you and then our team.
Yep. And just to run alongside Darcy for a second, I believe I'm paid in direct proportion to the value that I bring to the marketplace. I need to focus on improving my value. Where can I get better in all facets of life? And that's why I like the wheel of life. Where am I at with my health? Where am I at with my nutrition? Where am I at with my marriage? Where am I at with my children? Where am I at with my ministry? Where am I at with my charitable givings? Where am I at with my business? Whether that be communication skills, negotiating skills, marketing skills, executive management skills, leadership skills, whatever it might be. And, if you were to walk into our house, you would see 2 libraries full of books. You would see an upstairs full of books. You'd see a downstairs full of books. The information's out there. And so when you're able to do, as Darcy shared, invest in self, you want to help others invest in self. There's nothing I enjoy more than seeing somebody in any walk of life and recommending a book, recommending, something that they should read or could read, and to hear the testimonials come back of how we have impacted a life, how you can make a difference in others. And truly it goes back to, Zig, when you help enough people get what they want in life, you'll ultimately get what you want. Care more about the interest of others, be sincere, walk with the character and integrity that is yours, mine in Christ Jesus, that we all have, walk in that and watch what the fruit does as it impacts the lives of so many others.
Yeah, and the way that you grow yourself and your team is you teach this one thing called the law of awareness, which says to know yourself, to grow yourself, you need to know yourself. So when John said he looks at all these things, you really need to look in the mirror. And if you want to look in the mirror and you're ready to grow, sometimes it's best to go out there to your organization and say, tell me where I am great as a leader. Tell me where I need to grow as a leader. And actually, I sit down with really good parents. When I see a good parent, I want to take them out to coffee. How do you do this? I've noticed this. I see good fruit in your kids. Teach me. So be humble. Go out there to be selective, but go out to leaders that you like their fruit. You like what you see. You like the leadership style that they have, and be mentored under them. Follow what they do. So that's how you grow you. First of all, to grow yourself, you have to know yourself. So reflection. Every time I go make a presentation, if I walk up to somebody in Starbucks and I do an engagement and I try to say, hey, tell me, who are you? And I do that engagement stuff and I get nothing. I have to reflect. I have to say, what did I say? How could I say it better? Those kind of things. That's how you grow yourself. You're constantly in a state of reflection. And then let's go over to your team for a second. Our goal with our team is that they self-discover. I see so many people talking at their team. Do this, do this, do this more, do this more, do this more. Well, they're not doing it more because something's locking them up. And if you just keep going, do, and bark, and all that, you're just going to deflate them even worse. They already know they're supposed to do that. They're supposed to be sending out the seeds and making exposures and getting guests, but it's not happening. So what belief drives action. So we have to go into what's going on in their thinking, what's going on in their emotions that are producing their choices, which create their actions. And you have to help them self-discover. So when there's a block or a lack of action, us from a coaching standpoint, what we're going to do is ask a lot of questions. So the answers that you need about why your team's not producing are in the questions that you ask. So learning to ask questions that help your team discover what they need to do better, what they do right, and what they might do a little different to refine and advance them and shoot them off in a better path can be done through questions. So we believe in self-discovery, not like shoving a bunch of other information about everything they should be doing. Help them understand their value and help them understand how they can be better based on their skill sets, their background, and celebrate their wins, celebrate the person, celebrate everything they do right, and then refine and advance and give them a strategy to do better.
And extreme leadership is a leader willing to step out and never compromise. And so take that opportunity. Help people understand their associations. Help people understand they may need to change certain things. Make sure that they're surrounded with others who are investing in their gifts, their talents, their goals, their dreams, their desires, their aspirations, their strengths, their interests. And it's been an honor. It's an honor to be part of this great company. I'm thankful to everybody in our home office for their servant leadership to what it is we do and what it is we need. I'm very thankful for all of my colleagues and friends that we have had over these 21 years in Legal Shield. When I say I mean us, and we're very thankful for what I feel is one of the finest teams ever assembled in the direct selling industry. And so our first part is over, and we just send the best wishes to every one of you. 'Tis a season, this shall pass. I'm extremely thankful for what's going to happen as we come out of this. Our country has wrestled with many, many things, whether the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, Korean War, World War I, World War II, Gulf War, 9/11, whatever it is. What do? We come out stronger on the backside than ever before. We're going to come out stronger with more opportunities and with a better economy than we've ever seen at any time. So I'm thankful, and just stay blessed, stay healthy. And I'm going to pass it over to three very good friends of ours, three characters in my eyes, the Amelia family. We love these